Hello there, welcome to another episode of World of Tanks with Ngani Titan. Thought I'd give an interim report on the VK3001H, the German Tier 5 heavy tank. I have the top package. It's about 2 weeks since I bought it. I have 58 games in it, and I've unlocked one of the exit tanks, the VK3001M, which is the Tier 6 medium tank that leads onto the Panther line. Don't intend to go that route, so the next package to unlock will be the VK3601H, because that's down the heavy tank route. What can I say about this tank so far? I think it's rubbish. I really don't like it. This is one of my better games in it, but on average I have a terrible time with it. You really can't play it as a heavy tank, or at least you can't play it the way I'm used to playing heavy tanks. It doesn't have the armor, is basically it. The gun is really good, especially the top gun. The top gun, once you get onto about the third gun on the package, you're getting into pretty decent guns. The first couple of guns are terrible. They have terrible gun handling, terrible aim time, and terrible accuracy. Reload times are pretty reasonable, but the however, once you get into the good guns, it's okay from the gun point of view. You can make the tank work, but you really need to be in the company of other tanks. You can really only run it as a second line support tank if you're even top tier and you're one of the few heavy tanks in the game. You're gonna struggle with this tank, because that's a rare bounce from whatever's up there on top of the hill. Fellow Tier 5 heavy tanks have no trouble penetrating the Tier 1 heavies, KV1s, Churchill 1s. They'll just tear it apart one on one. You might just out DPM a Churchill 1, but you really need to have somebody with you so that there's more than one tank putting fire into the enemy tank, or you're operating from a position where they cannot directly engage against you. Even hull down, it's not very good, because the turret armor is only okay. It's better than the hull armor, but it's not exactly a shot stopper, and your hit point pool is small enough, so you're gonna have trouble. You're really gonna have trouble making it work. You need to be not to be shot at, so you need to be not directly in the front line action, not drawing the fire, not doing stuff that a heavy tank kind of does. So, but it doesn't have the mobility to play like a medium. I don't have a lot of experience with the other German heavies at this point, but it's got the same armor. The body armor is the same armor as the DW2, but the DW2 at tier 50mm armor is actually quite decent, and you angle the DW2, you'll bounce quite a lot of shots. This thing, against tanks of its own tier or higher tiers, they will have no trouble, for the most part, penetrating the this tank. So once the hull is exposed, you're going to be taking fire and you're going to take damage. And it's, while it has a decent enough top speed, it doesn't have good mobility. So for instance, if you come around a corner, you frequently can't drive into somebody to face hug, because that's one way you could protect your lower front plate, particularly. But tanks like the T1 Heavy and even the KV1 can reverse faster than this thing can chase it down from a standing start. So they're reversing, they're putting shots into your lower front plate, and they're doing so frequently faster than you're outputting fire, because the reload time of the gun, well, it's okay. It's not as fast as some of the other tanks of this tier. I think the T1 Heavy's got a faster reload. Some of the guns in the KV1 have a faster reload. The Churchills. Churchill 3 will tear this tank apart because they've got a very fast reload and pretty much every shot will penetrate. This game is kind of the ideal game for it. Open ground, plenty of other tanks around, nobody directly shooting at me, or at least not shooting at me much of the time. So I'm able to bring the gun to bear, I'm able to keep the gun in action, and I'm able to work this tank to its strengths. So the tank, it likes open maps with plenty of cover where you can use the gun at range, use the accuracy and the rate of fire of the gun, and do it from positions and locations where people aren't going to be directly shooting back at you, or at least they have other things to shoot at. Urban maps are probably the worst for this tank because the danger is you get caught on your own. So if you want to play this tank, or you're going through the Tiger grind, or you want to go through the Tiger grind, this is a tank that you'll need to be a bit more careful with. You need to play it fairly cautiously. You need to stay in the company of other tanks, or stay behind other tanks that are going to do the frontline heavy tanking for you. You don't have the mobility to play it as a medium tank. If you get caught, you don't have the speed to run away. And you're just not going to last long. You're not going to outfight another heavy tank one-on-one. If you're up against this tank and he's on his own, then just tear into him. You're going to have pretty much all the advantages are on your side. However, we did reasonably well in this game because we kept the gun in action. We came first by experience. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you again soon.